Hey everybody, can you hear me? As I wait for the comments. Good. Okay, cool. Here we go.
Comments. Good. Okay, cool. Here we go.
Just turn my alternate monitor down. Okay, thank you guys for being here. This is crazy. This is my first live stream. I just wanted to go over the second quarter catalogs for Build and LupinrangerVSPatoranger, and answer any questions people had, both about the catalogs themselves, the shows going forward. Hello to everybody. So if you have a question, you can definitely, after we run through everything, thank you. I actually got this hat in Universal Studios Japan. Treasured belonging. One Piece rules. Did anybody, by the way, see the new Kingdom Hearts trailer? Because that was crazy. Not to get off topic immediately, but that was nuts. Monsters Inc. So excited. But that's another show. Okay, so let's go with Build. First, I'm gonna pull up. I don't know if I could actually show you guys the pictures if you haven't seen. I'm gonna do my best to flip it around here. Okay, here we go. This is Kamen Rider Cross's final form. It's Kamen Rider Cross Magma. He gets this with the Cross Magma Knuckle. So he finally has a weapon befitting a boxer, which is kind of cool. It's a little bit like a crack bottle. So if you guys have seen, yeah, it's really well done. I like Cross Charge, but this is what I would picture for an upper form for him. It's definitely a little bit too bulky. I think they were trying to emulate what Hazzard looks like on Build and then add a little bit of color to it. So as you can see there, it sort of works the same way. Yeah, Japan names things funny sometimes. I think it's just because the bottle itself has cracks in it, like cracks in a sidewalk, but it definitely could work both ways, considering that the bottles are kind of like drug adjacent. Seems like he can pull it out of the belt and use it as a weapon. I'm not sure if he can use it as a weapon while in the form, but sort of like how he uses Cross Dragon. It's a weapon and it's a henshin device. So he puts the new bottle into it, and then yeah, it's very dope on. He puts the bottle in and then changes, and then I'm sure he could pull it out like other Rider weapons and use it for his finisher, that kind of thing. Yeah, he looks like he finally got those wings that he asked Sento for all those episodes back. So it's a pretty cool form. Let's move on. Let's see what else we have here. That's a build. We'll come back to that. Okay, this is a form that got leaked out by Bandai themselves. It's Hachi Marine. So it's a B submarine. Build has crazy forms. I'm not sure where we're going to see this. If we're going to see this in the... I would say he's probably going to use all his weapons in the final form, kind of like how Build uses all his weapons in his higher forms. Yeah, it's the catalogs are kind of leaked because we're not really supposed to see them necessarily. We got to thank everybody who got these out here, special form, Spirit Toys. Thanks to Sunjil on Ranger Board for finding these on Multi-Toys. So this is one of the best matches that are coming out. This is actually... Hey, Special Form. Thank you again, buddy. Yeah, this is... Oh, and Special Form just put out today this really cool video that him and GemCorp edited of the Lupin Ranger opening theme, and it's awesome. So go check that out if you can off of his Twitter. It's really great. And he subbed it and everything. It's cool. Yeah, so Hachi Marine is another best match. I think this actually... Yeah, it's a good one. I think this actually replaced Gold Scorpion. If you guys remember the last catalog we had, Gold Scorpion was supposed to be one of the Hokuto forms. And something happened. I tried checking Crane Joe about Gold Scorpion, and it's just crossed out. Obviously, the bottles are still coming, but it looks like there might have been a bug in the design of the pin or something. It should appear. I don't think it's going to appear as it was originally intended. Rosecopter replaced Gold Scorpion in the video. This seems to have replaced it effectively for the toy line. Rosecopter replaced it for the video, which is why they rushed it out. But I think this was supposed to be... It's kind of similar. Yeah, but it's just the best match. I don't know if we're going to see it in the show, like I said. I don't know if we're going to get it in the YouTube series. Here's the best match that everybody wants to talk about, I think. This is Kamen Rider Mad Rogue. It's the Bat Full Bottle, which is different than the... Yeah, Gold Scorpion could be in the movie, probably. Bat Full Bottle is different than the one we got for the first toy catalog. It's sort of sculpted more in the Sato and Hokuto style of full bottles. Rosecopter's pretty beautiful. Mad Rogue, we don't know. We don't even know if Kamen Rider Rogue is Night Rogue, honestly. All we know is that Night Rogue becomes Kamen Rider Rogue. It's likely Gentoku, because Gentoku leaves all pissy and then he's going to get stronger and come back and, you know, kick their butts. But this could be Utsumi, because then you'd have two Night Rogues running around. That'd be pretty cool. I think it's probably Gentoku. But Utsumi's got to do something. He's just being creepy right now. Anyway, this is the Bat Full Bottle and the Engine Full Bottle. He doesn't need the trigger to go to Mad Rogue. He does need the Evald Reiver. And the Evald Reiver is kind of a weird thing unto itself. We gotta get to that. So this is likely a Night Rogue power-up, and probably Gentoku with the new driver. Which means he's not going to have Kamen Rider Rogue for too long. What I really like about this form is that the Engine Full Bottle kind of gives him back that Night Rogue steampunk look with the pipes on his chest, so that's pretty cool. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, the Evald Driver is really interesting, even though it's just a recolor of the Build Driver. I'm hoping we have that on here. There we go. So this, guys, is the Evald Driver. This show's going crazy with the forms. Yeah, the Rabbit and Dragon Full Bottles, they're dropping Splash super quick. I think, you know, I'm not sure if it was planned. The Splash, I don't collect Build, I collect Sentai. I usually don't collect Rider. They're not being used by Sento and Ryuga, apparently. They are being used by Evil, Kamen Rider Evil, who's this guy right here, who's almost definitely Stark or Stalk, however you want to pronounce it. Yeah, it's definitely that recolor color scheme. There's apparently a Pandora box design somewhere in there that somebody saw. I can't really see it, but it does look like a mecha anime kind of thing. I think he is space themed. I think Bloodstock might end up being a Martian. I've seen that talked about. Grease doesn't seem to be getting anything. But Grease is the third Kamen Rider number-wise, and they usually don't get anything until after the series. Even though Rogue and now Evil are kind of getting a billion forms to themselves. Yeah, I mean, Grease could potentially bite it. But, you know, we've had third riders before not get forms and they stick around. I like Stark too, only because Stalk sounds weird in Japanese. Like, theoretically, it's the same sound, but if you said Stalk to a Japanese person, it would be kind of hard to translate correctly for them. Yes, I mean, it works essentially the same way as the Build Driver. I don't have a Build Driver. If you have a Build Driver, you kind of know how it works. It's essentially the same thing. It comes with the Rider Evil bottle, which is this little, with the build symbol on there, and then the Cobra Evil bottle. Yeah, it does. It definitely works pun-wise, but the thing is, when you choose one of them, it would... Right, exactly. Snipe did not die last year, even though he didn't get any upgrades till, you know, movies. He does look like game to use. He actually reminds me of Sagittarius Zodiarts from Forze. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting from him. And also a little bit Orga from Fies. He's a very cool design. That's for sure. Okay, so right, even though we got introduced to him in this catalog, he's also getting a power-up. He might. So this is like Evil's take on the Hazzard switch. Or the Hazzard trigger, I should say. It's very evil looking, even more space alien-like. So the Evil bottles actually sort of move up and down, and they look like animal faces. So like the cobra mouth moves, the rabbit mouth moves, the dragon mouth moves. This is essentially the Hazzard trigger. It does the exact same thing as the Hazzard trigger does. Yeah, definitely. It's sort of, it looks like what you would, it looks like a Final Fantasy villain to me, honestly. It's very evil looking, very sort of monster more than Rider, but it is a Rider. And this is actually called Black Hole form, as far as I can tell. Yeah. I believe so, yeah. So it's Kamen Rider Evil Black Hole form. That's what I'm saying, yeah, they move. The mouths move up and down. I'm not sure if you're talking about something else besides the moving mouths. He's got to be a Martian, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, that's the Evald Reiver again. Let's go back a little bit. I want to talk about Build's final form. Oh, before we get there, I guess. Okay. Yeah. Right. You're correct. They all have some kind of action. So you can kind of see where the arrows are pointing. That's what moves. These are Evil forms, apparently. So what the Japanese text says, I'm going to read it to you guys now. It says, Evald Reiver set... So it says, Kamen Rider Evil sets these in the driver and uses the rabbit form and the dragon form. But the way that it's saying it is sort of like the catalog is not sure. I'm not sure what these forms actually do for him. Theoretically, this is the reason that Soichi's been asking the two riders to sort of fight and get stronger, to sort of be a troll and steal their powers, and now he's got their powers. We could probably get it past the series. We don't know why. I mean, baser instinct, take over the world. But, I don't know. He's a very, very interesting villain, or maybe he's a hero. We don't really know. But this definitely seems like the plan was to get them strong and steal their powers. Which is good that they're getting power-ups, because I would feel like maybe they're not going to be able to fight him with these forms using their base forms from before. Here we go with this beauty, Devil Scientist Machination. So this is Kamen Rider Build in Genius form. Yeah, there's some sort of weird Martian plan at work with the Pandora box. Remember, he opened the Pandora box. I mean, I love this form. I could definitely see it as a little terrifying. It's very mad scientist, which fits. It really, really fits. But I could see where people would be put off by this. So essentially, this is almost like Cosmic for Forze. This switch, the Genius switch, gives him the power of all 60 full bottles. I don't think he needs all 60 full bottles. So theoretically, he could use this, and then Cross or the other riders could use their forms. He's not like stealing the forms. This sort of just uses all the power. Yeah, it's very like Frankenstein's monster, made it in a lab kind of thing. I love the gold emblazoned build symbol. I love how like the veins kind of connect into it from all the different full bottles. It's very steampunky, trippy. It fits into the theme. This is true, but if Grease kind of kicks around, he would still be there, and he would need to use the full bottles. Pretty much. It's a recolored sparkling can. It's a little bit different on the top, but for the most part, it is. It is the same thing. But obviously, the pin's got to be changed because this goes in the build driver, not the new driver. Yeah, Pandora form would have been a cool name for the form. Hello, dude, is a meme, Kage. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed that Pandora wasn't the form, even though, if you think about the show, of course Sento's going to call this Genius form because he's a genius, and everything that he does is genius. So it's perfect that he would name this his form. I also like that this form looks really confident. You know, for those watching Build, and spoiler alert if you're not watching Build, Yeah, I probably said that wrong. If you aren't watching Build, this is a spoiler alert, but Hazzard form is sort of Sento at his worst. He can't control it right now. He probably will soon. But it's a very dark place that the character's going right now. So Genius form seems like it's old Sento. I think the BCR Genius, we're going to get to that now. Let me pull that up. Or actually, we'll do Hazzard first, and then we'll do Genius. Okay. So, instead of 3 figures or 2 figures, we're getting Hazzard, Tank, and Rabbit all in one set. And it's going to cost about 40 bucks. So it's not that bad. But, you know, the forms are a little bit blocky because it's sort of an armor transformation thing. I think they fit the way they look in the show, though. I don't know what you guys think about that. Yeah, very similar to Muteki, and probably also Gaim stuff, I think. I do love Claw's Magma. Yeah, I think Sento's probably going to make Tank and Rabbit to contain Hazzard form. That's what it sort of looks like. Because he's breaking down his power set. Hazzard is sort of just uncontrollable rage and power and speed. So Rabbit will probably be speed and Tank will be power, and he'll be able to control it that way. What's interesting, though, is that his final form isn't a higher Rabbit Tank form, which I'm okay with because I was kind of getting a little bit, not bored, but it's a little bit uninteresting when you have all these different forms and they keep going back to his core form because, of course, they're going to go back to that. But I like that they sort of broke from that and they gave him just something completely original. Cross the Magma and Genius. Yeah. Oh, no, he's definitely going to. I think Cross Z Magma is supposed to come out first in April. So I'm not sure how that's going to happen, but I'm not sure what the Build movie form is going to be, but there's going to be one. We'll find out about that in the next catalog. As for Tank being destroyed, I think the bottles are going to be fine. I think that just Sento and Ryuga's power, their own power, is going to get stolen from them. Right, exactly. Like, Rabbit Tank, I mean, besides being balanced, I guess, has no real benefit over some of the other forms. Like, Rabbit Tank Sparkling, it's story-based. They needed it to be Rabbit Tank, so they made it work with Rabbit Tank. Right. They're not coming out close together, but he could still make both of those forms. So, okay, and let's go to Genius form for the BCR, which is essentially just an action figure. The build symbol turns, and his head has a rotation kind of gimmick in there too. Yeah, that's going to be fun and noisy. The figure looks okay. You know, it's sort of lacking a little bit of detail, but it could also just be the picture. Does look like Meteor Storm from that figure for sure. I don't know why the symbol turns. Maybe the symbol turns in the show, and whatever bottles it turns to, we can use those powers. That would be cool. Yeah, I would like to see that beating down the final form like that. That's what I think it says. All it says is the chest build logo turns, so I'm not sure what the actual reason is. Final attack, definitely. But that would be my guess. Maybe whatever it turns to, the build lightning bolt thing hooks up to that bottle, and he can use that power. Could be too. Hazzard Hawk Gatling. I was wondering that myself. I think if it has wings, it's going to be like the way Ryuga uses the wings when he's using the full bottle as charge, where they kind of just sprout out of his back, because there's no believable way to stick the wings on him. Okay, have we covered everything build? I think we've covered everything build. Oh, we have Rhino Dryer was another No, there we go. Yeah, so Hazzard form can use any full bottle. It is definitely a centrifuge full bottle. Special form on it. Yeah, it's definitely a centrifuge. Yeah, so this is the last thing in the catalog for build. There's going to be another catalog, one more catalog for build. That'll be with the movie forms and whatever last form they're going to give to people, or they'll just re-advertise Genius form. Yeah, we're going to see more Hazzard forms. The only ones we've seen advertised are Rabbit Tank, Smartphone Wolf, and now Hawk Gatling. But you can always kind of cycle through those, and they're easy enough for them to film because they're just, you know, they're just slapping on the eyes. Right, early May would be fourth quarter for build. It gets a little confusing when we call it fourth quarter because now the rider has, now that they air differently, it's a little confusing. But it is Rider's fourth quarter we see in May, along with Sentai's third quarter. I would be surprised if we saw all their Hazzard forms just because of how many there possibly are. Yeah, but that's it. Any questions about build before we move on? Well, let me know before I would just want to take care of any build questions before we do Lupin Ranger versus Powder Ranger. Cool. I like that. Succinct. I don't know about the rest of the full bottles, if they're going to get regular releases, but very nice. Your mind is a centrifuge of knowledge. I don't know. They're probably going to be other regular best matches, honestly. How's it going, Helmets and Henshin? Yeah, Grease will probably get something in a V Cinema. Fourth quarter for build is going to be the movie forms, maybe some remaining best matches, and then maybe a power-up for somebody. Grease dying next episode would be very disappointing for a lot of people, but also probably cool. I don't know if they'd pull the trigger after just ending somebody. Funeral form. Yeah, tonight's gonna be crazy because we have the big fight between Build and Grease, and then we have Lupin Ranger versus Patoranger. So it's a little nuts. Grease turning into a smash would be something. All right, we're gonna move on. Let me just make sure that I have the right things pulled up. We'll flip back to me for a little bit. Oh yeah, sure. Bunny, what's your question? Spider. I don't know if Spider works in Trans Steam Gun. I think, I don't have the build toys, but I think the Trans Steam Gun might be locked to certain sounds. Sorry guys, I'm just pulling up the Lupin Ranger, Patoranger stuff in order. Oh, thanks, Shane. I try. Wait, repeat that question from Bunny. I sort of got distracted. Hey, Tavion. Oh, the YouTube special is between 21 and 22. Technically, it's between 21 and the end of 21, if we're going to be technical about it. So it takes place before the fight. It's the week before the fight. Right. P Bandai is going to probably release the Castle, Owl, and Stag, because they don't really fit in anywhere. Okay, here we go. This is going to be Lupin Ranger vs. Patoranger. If you haven't seen the pics, here we go. Okay, first is the splash page. On the Lupin Ranger side, we see our 7th Ranger. The 7th is called X. That's his name. It's just X. His forms have Ranger names. Him as a person is just called X. So we don't know if he's going to be a Shurikenger type. We don't find out who he is until the end of the show, or maybe we never find out who he is. But we're going to talk about this because it's a little bit interesting. So his Patoranger form is called Patoren X, or Patren X if you guys subscribe to the no O. Doesn't really matter. His Lupinranger form is Lupin X. Lupin X is silver, Patoren X is gold. X is definitely a ball of light. Confirmed. Thank you, Howling. Yeah, the faceplate's really cool. If you guys notice, the gold mouth on silver is actually the hat on gold and vice versa. His suit design is a little interesting too because his Lupinranger suit has this Shurikenger Green Samurai shield, almost, but it sort of matches the Patoranger shoulder pads. If you can look real close at the sort of the ridges there. But on the Patoranger form, he has a waistcoat, and he sort of has this nonchalant look to him, and it looks like he's some sort of police chief. I would love for Hilltop to be a ranger. I don't know if this makes sense for him to be. Yeah, so he would be... Well, I think if you don't count some mechas, his mecha is number 10. Oh, we'll get to spoiler sounds after this. I don't want to spoil people. It is X. So X comes from a couple places, as I've found out. He could definitely be a new character. X is like an unknown quotient, an unknown number, like in algebra. It also references probably spy movies with like Agent X, that kind of stuff. And then also X spelled out, because you see his name isn't the letter X. It's the letter X when it's his name, but his ranger name has it spelled out in Japanese. It's actually the beginning of the word express, because he has train mecha. All his mecha are going to be trains. There's some trains that are Lupinranger sound-based, and there's other trains that are Patoranger sound-based. Right, so he's going to choose, I think, which team he fights with for the episode, like Good Striker. It's very possible he could be some sort of... Trains are popular, man. They'll make trains until they can't. Let's go to the next part of the splash page. Does like trains. Okay, so right here it's just showing you what we already know. Good Striker comes out in March. You can make Lupin Kaiser and Patsu Kaiser. And then a little later in March, you get the Trigger Machine Biker and the Cyclone Dial Fighter. Okay. Coming up in April is, we'll go into detail with these. These are the new auxiliary mechs for Lupinranger and Patoranger. Yes, so any Trigger Machines after 3 don't have a number name. They are numbered, though. So Biker is 4, and this new one is 5. But he has a name, too. Down at the bottom is the Campaign versus vehicle. It's a mini vehicle, which is the second size class. This is the same size as the Gachapon and Candy Toys. This is the Hammer Dial Fighter. He's kind of got this cool, almost spaceship look to him. There's a lot of machines. There's going to be a lot of machines in the future. You're going to be sick of the machines via the leaks that we'll talk about in a little bit. It is very cool how everything is equal between the teams. So actually, we're getting a campaign of Lupinranger this time, and we'll probably get a Patoranger campaign next time. The campaign, if you buy any deluxe mecha in April, you get the Hammer Dial Fighter. But I'm not sure how that's going to work with online stores because places like CS Toys, Image Anime, they sort of do their own version of campaigns sometimes with the American customers and people around the world. So you kind of just have to pay attention to their updates and see what goes on. What's cool about the Hammer Dial Fighter is that it's sort of a recolor of the other new Dial Fighter, and it sort of swings to make that hammer, as you guys can see there. You can get... The X-Emperor will be out way too late. You got to get something in April. It doesn't matter what, as long as it's a mecha. It's exactly like Duo Panda, except I think we're going to get a lot of them. Okay, let's get to more detailed. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit more about the new machines. So for the Lupin Ranger, we're going to get the Scissor Dial Fighter and the Blade Dial Fighter. Yeah, CS Toys is the place to go for the campaigns. If you're willing to spend a little bit of money, eBay, but you're going to get overcharged. So Scissor Dial Fighter is the big, almost Time Shadow looking jet, and Blade Dial Fighter is the little drone guy. So in battle mode, in attack mode, Blade Dial Fighter puts out its blade in front of it, and Scissor Dial Fighter actually has a pair of scissors that shoot out from under it. Mandarake is great. I love this. I like that it looks like Time Shadow. Lupin Ranger has all the Time Ranger vibes. So I feel like this is like perfect. What's cool is that you can clip on Blade to the top of Scissor, and his dial goes on top of the other dial. Meaning that we might see the dials work as joints in the future for future combinations. And I'll get into that later when we talk about X-Emperor. Yeah, HLJ also works. I don't like how their shipping system works, but I love the people at HLJ. They're great. I just, the warehouse system always confuses me. That's me. Lupin Ranger is all jets, all aerial stuff. As far as episode 1 and 2 is concerned, yeah, the warehouse system bothers me a little bit. I used to order from HLJ all the time. I had a couple of missteps. Nothing on there that was really their fault. It just the way that they charge for your order. I want things to be charged to me immediately, and then I want it shipped to me immediately. That's just me. Lupin Ranger gets all jets, Ranger gets all land vehicles, and then X is going to get trains, but his trains sort of go for one of the two teams. I want the Victim Rangers to be true for you, Special Form. I do. There's a couple of sounds in the changer that we can talk about after. Okay, let's move over to the Pato Ranger side. I know. I've come accustomed to not using them. If you use them, that's great. I think that they deserve the business. They're great. They answer all your questions. But actually, this year I'm going mostly with Image Anime, except for the Sofubi figures, which I'm getting from CS Toys, just because I work by Image Anime, and I don't like dealing with the mail. I'm in New York, for those that don't know, and our mail system is terrible. So I almost lost a package with Q Ranger. Yeah, it's expensive, but really, when you look at it, it's not so astronomically more than what I usually do, which is eBay. So, Collectibles is really good. I got my Dark Seiza Blaster from them, and I got my Christmas Q-Tama from them. And their service is excellent. Oh, I use everything. I'm a big... With Sentai, I don't joke around. So especially Q Ranger with all the stuff that came that was sort of not available. Yeah, my package ended up in California. I don't know how that happened. I got another one sent to me, so I should get the stuff. See, that's the thing. CS Toys is great. Their prices are low, and I always recommend people to CS Toys. They do charge a lot for shipping because a lot of the Sentai toys are heavy or electronic. So you're going to get charged an arm and a leg for it. I would rather, instead of waiting in the mail, I would just rather wait, walk down for my job, pick up the toys, and go home. That's me. That's just a me thing. Okay, so on the Pato Ranger side, for their new VS vehicle, is the Trigger Machine Crane and Trigger Machine Drill. Bokenger flashbacks are strong. So in this case, instead of a sword and shield, we get a crane arm and a drill dagger sort of thing. So what's cool about this is their attacks, the crane arm extends, drill probably just rolls around, and then you can actually store drill into the crane. So what I really like about this is that you can store the mini vehicles into the bigger vehicles, meaning pieces are not going to get lost. If you have to not use these for a combo, they can at least stay together, and that's a really big deal for me. Yeah, they remind me actually of Thunderbirds. The sword on the Lupin side is a little bit disappointing, that's for sure. Although it might have some sort of use in the future. So either way, I'm getting everything, but that's just me. It does look like Smokescreen. It reminds me of Thunderbirds a lot, these vehicles, and Bokenger. What's cool about the mini vehicles, and this goes for the Gachapon and Candy Toys too, the VSV Light from the Gachapon and Candy and the mini vehicles are usable in the changer. So they are just like any other VSV. So if you're not a mecha collector, but you still want the changer and you want all the sounds, you can actually get all the sounds via Candy or via Gachapon. So just stay tuned. I'll try and keep an eye on what's coming out for where. It does look like a Fisher-Price toy. This is not the best picture of it, so I would probably hold off judgment on color scheme and detailing until we really see it. The VS vehicles from the first catalog looked really plain when we first saw them, and now that we can see them in detail, they're still plain paint-wise, but there's a lot of detail on them. So I don't want to talk about too much yet about new base bodies. I can confirm that there will be something new Striker related. When we get into the spoilers, I'll tell everybody that there's a spoiler alert, and then I'm kind of just going to go and talk about the spoilers. Okay, down here, if we kind of get small. Sorry about that. This is the Deluxe X-Rod Sword. And you can see the teases for the SH Patoran X and the SH Lupin X down there. You can kind of see Patoran X's waistcoat thing. Yeah, the sword handle's weird. I'm not sure what they were thinking with that. Hey, yeah, that's me. I can say that it does look like the actual weapon, so it's supposed to be a Jutei. His weapon does look kind of basic, but unlike the Lupin sword, it does make sounds and lights, so there's that at least. I think they might honestly be moving in a direction where they're making the toys simple on purpose, just in case Bandai America has to adapt them. That way we don't get any further degradation of the toys, but it's a cool sword. When it's in sword mode, it's really cool, which is the Lupin Ranger thing. The Jutei has that weird looking appendage. So I don't know what's going on with that, but it does look, if you guys look up a Jutei, Jutte, I believe it's spelled, it's like an old police baton in Japan, Edo era, around there. The weapons for the show are not the most impressive, but I am really impressed by the mecha. I'm going to get all the weapons. We'll see how I like them after I get them. Yeah, the Jewel Blaster and the Seiza Blaster. Well, Seiza Blaster definitely was designed by Bandai America. They're not dumbing down the line for us. They're dumbing down the line for Bandai America. Because Bandai America can't really produce toys to the quality of Bandai Japan for whatever reason. Even though I think both lines get produced in China, so I'm not really sure what the divide is. I didn't watch Ninja Steel yet because I have to force myself to watch Ninja Steel, but that's another discussion. Okay, so his finishing moves are pretty much just like the other finishing moves. For Pato Ranger, he has an Ichigeki strike, and for Lupin Ranger, he has a Itadaki strike. So one strike, Ichigeki strike, or one hit strike, and Itadaki taking strike or stealing strike. They are sold for more expensive prices, but really when you get down to it, the price points are not so far apart. A usual Sentai Robo goes for $70, so our toys go for $30, $40, but the quality is only marginally better most of the time. It really feels like Bandai America is just kind of lazy. Like if they put in the time, even if the toys themselves were cheaper, I think they could look more better, that's not a word. But they could look better if they gave them the time. Yeah, so it depends on when you're buying the Japanese toys and also what line. Yeah, marginally is right. Well, no, I mean, some toys in Japan, some of the robot toys are amazing, but I think, like, the VS vehicles, excuse me, they're pretty simple, even though I really like them. They remind me of the Bokenger toys, which were really, really cool looking, but they were fairly basic. The American toys have gotten really, really bad. That's really the problem. Let's look at... Okay, we're going to look at the changer for Cross. X could totally be a gangler. touring style. Man, special. So, guys, I don't know if you know this. You probably do. Lupin Yellow is being played by Kudo Haruka, who is a idol. She recently graduated from Morning Musume. I don't know much about Idol World, but I know that their fans are as crazy or more crazy than us, Ranger fans and Rider fans. Her toys are selling out like crazy. I put up a picture on Twitter of one of the stores who have no yellow toys left in stock. That's the first time I think that's ever happened for Super Sentai. For male or female figures. I mean, the toys came out yesterday and they're sold out at stores. So it's crazy. Yes, definitely. I love it, man. Bring it in. I like that we're getting fans of other stuff in Sentai. Now we're going to get a whole bunch of people who have never seen Super Sentai before watching Super Sentai. They sort of tried to do the same thing with Tokyuger with trained fans, and it didn't really take off. Tokyuger sold a lot, but yeah, the vinyl figures are gone and Yellow Dial Fighter. So I hope you pre-ordered if you want them. Okay, let's take a look at these trains. These are, excuse me, mouth is dry. These are the two main mecha for X. His Patoranger one is XTrain Gold. And likewise, his Lupin Ranger one is XTrain Silver. They might give her some more power-ups for sure to get people to buy them. So what's interesting about these trains is that they actually combine to form X's changer. So we look down here, the trains dock together, and they can either form his X changer, which is the name of the changer, X changer, in the Patoranger mode, which gold is at the front, or the Lupin Ranger mode, which silver is at the front. And obviously, in those modes, he can change into those forms. Again, when we talk spoilers, I think a full team power-up is in the cards. So we'll see. I'm not sure if they planned the popularity. I don't think they could have, because it's really going crazy. Yeah, I love it. I'm a big train fan, at least when it comes to Japanese trains, and I like the locomotive. I love locomotives, and I love Shinkansen, so it's a really cool toy for me. Again, I'm not confirming a full team power-up. It just, from what I've seen, it looks likely. I don't want to like get your hopes up, or my hopes up. Yeah, I mean, the transformation is pretty similar to the VS Changer, except you're not sliding anything on, you're just kind of pressing some buttons and flipping things around. Right, speed versus power. Okay, so let's move over to these guys. So these are, and he just showed up, these are the... I mean, Hyper Tokyuger was technically a team power-up. It was just a disappointing team power-up. So, again, we got to sort of hold our breath and wait. Definitely the popularity of the yellow toys makes me want to say that they would make it a full team power-up. I do, too. It's a really, I like the look of the gun. It's a little awkward thinking about it functionally. So, on the left here, guys, the gold and blue train is called the XTrain Thunder. Silver, fire, and gold is thunder, right? Well, no. So gold and silver are the main trains that I just showed before. This is Thunder, the gold and blue. He's got like a snowplow kind of thing on the front of him. And then this is XTrain Fire, who is so blue and gold is a Patoranger train. Red and silver is a Lupin Ranger train that he uses. So we have like a plow kind of train, and then it looks like a flying train. So XTrain Fire has sort of the Lupin Ranger aesthetic, and XTrain Thunder has the Patoranger aesthetic. And in the VS Changer, you use in that way. So Thunder goes underneath, Silver goes on top. I mean, Fire goes on top. And probably the same can be true for Gold and Silver. They are the limbs for the mecha, but the mecha is kind of special. No, I don't think there's a train boner on the mecha, though he does have a gun in the middle of his chest. We'll get there. Okay, now moving on to the mecha. Yeah, it is a combination of a jet and a densha. So they are... Hi, Captain. How you doing? Yeah, it's got a little bit of Gosei Snake. So the way that this works is... this is like a train turntable. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it on railways. They have them in Japan still a little bit. I'm not sure about in America anymore. But essentially he gets 2 modes, like his Henshin mode. The Lupin one does look like a ninja or kind of a knight, actually, his face. Yeah, it looks a lot like Gosei Grand, which I'm okay with. I love Gosei Grand. I think Gosei Grand is probably my favorite Goseiger robot. So on the right is X Emperor Slash. So the name of his robot is X Emperor. This is actually for the X Emperor set. It's X Gatai X Emperor set. In the set, you get gold, silver, thunder, and fire. It's actually a gun on his chest. It's the gun from gold. It's the changer gun. So the changer actually becomes his robot with his other trains. It looks like a sash for Slash, and then he actually uses it as a Gatling gun for the other mode. Lupin Ranger mode is X Emperor Slash. You can see that both fire and silver have wings jutting out. And here's where we get to the interesting future combo stuff. If you guys look, you can see the Changer and the Mecca are sold separate, and then you could buy them all together as a set. So it's really up to you, like the first quarter. Yeah, I mean, right, that's the trigger. I think this is what Slash reminds me of is actually like Space Deleter, some of those shows. And then the other guy sort of reminds me more of a basic Sentai robot. But if we notice on Silver's front car and then Fire, you can see their dials. But they're shaped differently than the other dials. They're almost inset, sort of like pegs. Yeah, it's got Terragordon colors to it too. So if you see those guys look like pegs. Now, we were spoiled a little bit on the Mini-Pla Lupin Kaiser and Pater Kaiser. Under the feet are actually peg joints. So my thinking is that in a future combination, we're going to get Silver and Fire as feet, with Good Striker standing on top of them. But that's just me theorizing. That's not confirmed. I haven't seen anything to suggest that. But it's definitely weird that their dials would be different when you use them the same way. So we'll see. It might just be the picture too, sort of making it look that way. But to me, it definitely looks like they're inset. Yeah, poor Terragordon. Okay, so that's X Emperor Slash. Yeah, so the reason, I'll get to that after this, why there's no mecha combination this quarter, in my opinion, when there usually is. So on the Pater Ranger side, when he's Pateran X, he gets to use X Emperor Gunner. So it is definitely a Gosei ground power kind of sort of thing. You actually flip X Emperor Slash upside down, it turntables, and then the arms become the feet become the arms, sort of like Time Robo. And then the gun actually flips out into a Gatling gun, which he kind of holds there by his chest, and that he can use as his weapon. So that's pretty cool. I like that design. I love the turntable stuff. I love Time Robo. I like there's a lot of Time Ranger. Sentai loves the machine guns. His head is a little awkward looking. I think those are one of the things that are going to look better in the show. It's got to be as long as the train that it comes from. It's the underside of gold, as far as I know, so it's going to be a little longer in the toy. Yep, exactly. Bending over backwards. Okay, so the reason I think... Give me 1 second, guys. Have to lubricate the vocal cords. The reason I think we're not getting... I think we're getting both. I think we're going to get... Yeah, wait for the soup pick, definitely. I think we're going to get a Lupin Gatai, and I think we're going to get Pater Ranger Gatai, and I think fourth quarter is going to be a big Gatai between both of them. Here's why I think they didn't give us a Gatai this time out. We're still fresh in the show. The show is called LupinrangerVSPatoranger. If you have a Supreme, Super Gatai, whatever, Great Gatai, the teams have to work together. And yeah, you could have them work together and then go back to not working together, but the past couple of years we've had these Super Gatai that show up 2 times, and then we never see them again, except for the finale, maybe. Like, Ryuteo, I really liked. I'm sorry, Ryute Kyurino, I really liked. And then we never saw it. I don't know if it was because of the suit. I don't know if it was because they just didn't like it. they preferred Kyutamajin, and I'm fine with Kyutamajin. I just liked Ryutei Kurino a lot, and I feel like they didn't do anything with it. So I would rather see them plan for a really, really big combination, like third quarter, fourth quarter, than rush into a combination we're going to see once. That's not really used. I would rather them use the robots on hand. It's definitely going to take us a little while to get both Kaisers, because Good Striker's not out till March 3rd, which means he's not going to show up on the show till March 4th, probably. Maybe we'll see him tonight. We'll see. Yeah, I would say so too. It was a little difficult story-wise and also show-wise. Yeah, we need a good cluster. But I think there's evidence for it too. If when you guys get Trigger Machine Ichigo, if you look at his front wheel, which is like the chest for Pato Kaiser, on the right-hand side, I think it is, it's actually gear treads. If you guys remember Hurricane Leon from Hurricaneger, where they combined into Gorai Senpujin and then also Tenrai, and they had a lot of gears, moving gears. That's what I think that's for. I thought it was going to be for crane and drill, but it's not. There's no gear connect there for the drill. Or electronics yet that are going to support that, so. Yeah, I think I liked how Kyuranger was handled just because it was a space Sentai and really our first space Sentai. So the big cannon instead of a combination didn't bother me. And I personally like Orion Battler. It's just a cool looking toy. It's not the greatest thing in the world. But, you know, with 12 Rangers, we were expecting, I think, a bigger combo. So, you know, Kyuranger did a lot right. I'll allow it to have a few points off in the toy line because the toys themselves are really beautiful, even though they don't combine. I think the VS vehicles are at least going to give us something approaching Tokyo Rainbow, if not something more intricate than that. And I'm hoping for something more intricate. They'll probably make it a playset. Orion Battler in the US. Okay, so guys, this is it for the Lupin Ranger catalog. It's a really small quarter too. Why is it a small quarter too? Because Bandai's going to murder us in quarter 3 and quarter 4. Tokyo Rainbow was pretty bad in toy form. But concept-wise, it was cool. Me too. Something electronic. Okay, so spoiler warning, guys. We're going to flip back to me. Hi there. Hi, everybody. This is spoilers. So the VS Changer is out. Excuse me while I take a drink. The VS Changer is out in Japan. And let me pull up my toy list on Ranger Board. By the way, if you guys don't know, I am a mod on Ranger Board, so please come check it out. I promise we don't bite, at least not most of us. And you can always message me on there and ask me questions, or you guys can follow me on Twitter. Thank you. For those that didn't see my hat, it's a one-piece hat. I got it from Universal Studios in Osaka, Japan. I actually lived there for 6 months and taught there, and that's where I was able to get that. Rejected? Oh, who was rejected on Ranger Board? I hope I didn't reject you, because that would be awkward. Were you were rejected on Ranger? Oh, you mean for like signing up as a user account? It could be that your IP didn't look, or your IP looks suspicious. So I would try making the account again and then messaging me that that's you, and I can sort of help you get into the account there. Okay, let me pull up these spoilers, and I hope we're ready to be spoiled. Here we go. I love USJ. Yeah, so there we go. So we're getting, seemingly, team power-ups. And each team's getting their own new striker. The Lupin Ranger are going to get the Victory Striker. And that lets them do Super Kaito Change, which is a Miracle Masquerades. We don't know what it looks like. It's just the sound of the changer. What's interesting to note is the Lupin Ranger... Yep, exactly, VNS. Victory and Siren. So it's sort of it's probably that they're all going to get two more core robots. On the Patoranger side, I'm excellent. Does that work for you, Special? Should I go more center stage? On the Patoranger side, we're going to get the Siren Striker, which is going to probably be a police car version of Pot Striker. Dude, I love you. Yeah, so we're going to get at least 2 more core mecha, if not totally new designs for core mecha. So that's crazy. So we have those 2 coming out. What I actually hope happens is that the power-ups for Lupin Ranger can fuse, and the power-ups for Patoranger can multiply. So we get the different power sets switched up. That's just me. Yeah. So I don't know what they're gonna look like, but we are getting more strikers, and I'm glad for people who were bothered by only having 1. But we also got much more than that. We got teases at new Rangers. We got teases at more vehicles. So many more vehicles. For the build fans in the room, we have a Kamen Rider build VS vehicle coming out at some point. Don't know when, don't know how. We also have a Kamen Rider VS vehicle coming out at some point. 2 different Kamen Rider VSVs. Don't know why, or don't know how. Could the other one be for the next Kamen Rider? Possible, or it could just be a general one. Of course we are. We gotta. Right, so a lot of these could be mini VSVs. They don't all have to be deluxe. I mean, it should be a literal tank rabbit. You're correct. That would be great. All right, did you go under the name Bunny Claws? VSV is VS vehicle. We don't know what the V and the S stand for there. But it could be that they stand for Victory Siren, I guess, now. Got it. I'll get you approved. Just behave. Let me talk over... I will talk to the other mods and just check why you were denied the first time, though. Love you too, guys. Because maybe your IP looks suspicious to them. I don't know how what happened there. Okay, past that, we're going to get some new Rangers. We don't know if they're movie Rangers. We don't know if they're regular additional Rangers. On the Lupin side, we're getting code 000, so that's the dial code. All the dial fighters have a dial code. I'll check into it for you, Bunny. And hopefully I'll get everything fixed, squared away. So we don't know if it's a dark Lupin Ranger or a movie Ranger. We just know... Well, I don't think she did anything wrong. Or that he did. That's why. I don't know what the reason was for not accepting her. Yeah, I think it's gonna be in the series. So for the Lupin Ranger side, we're gonna get Lupin Black apparently, which a lot of people wanted. I know. And then on the Patoranger side, we're gonna get Patoren Zero Go. Could be Lupin. Could be Lupin for sure. So we got Zero Go and Lupin Black. So a black VSV, black dial fighter, and a Trigger Machine 0 is coming out. I want Hilltop to be a Ranger so bad. Okay, moving on. So we got a pretty bunch of weird sounds. I don't think we're going to have full teams. I think the 3 versus 3 is what they're going for. With the 2 blacks, I guess, we don't know if Zero Go is a Black Ranger too. He might be white. He might be another color. He might be orange. We don't know. But with all 4, we would have 4 to a team, which would complete the 8, the number theory thing. Yes, he definitely will go from 0 to hero. They probably make the black portions another color. Or they could go Hazzard form and just make him all black. Which would be cool, but also a little boring. We got other sounds too, though. So, let's go through them. For the first time ever, we're going to have a Halloween special release thing. So we're going to have a Halloween dial fighter. The code for that is 1031. Yes, there's a number theory for Sentai as well, if you haven't been paying attention. You know, I prescribe to it sometimes, and other times I don't. For Sentai, it makes a little bit more sense, especially since we had Q-Ranger just now. But the theory is Zyuohger is 10, Q-Ranger is 9, and then Lupin Ranger and Patoranger has PA in it. And so that's the sound for, it's similar to 8. So we got 8 Rangers maybe. Yeah, so the dial code for the Halloween VSV is 1031, October 31st. So that could be cool, because we can have like a whole bunch of stuff. We can have a bat, we can have a pumpkin. Halloween is really, you know, it's not, it's a theory, it's a fan theory. They're not all going to be winners, but the number thing for Sentai at least has been consistent the past 2 years. We don't know if that's going to, at the end of this show, I might not believe it anymore myself, but we'll see. So the Halloween thing is cool. We're going to get a laser trigger machine for Patoranger. Don't know what it does. I'm assuming it shoots a laser, but I'm not sure what the makeup is. I love it. Thank you, 90 Pulsar. It is a fan theory. Yeah, the Rider thing was the number thing for Rider was consistent for 4 years. But I mean, it's still sort of consistent. It's just now you really have to really, really dig to make things make sense. Sentai, not so much. Yeah, so a lot of the sounds could definitely not be used, but I think just going off of what they did with Q-Ranger and the 88 Q-Tama, we only don't have 22 of those right now, and they're definitely getting released because Q-Ranger fans like myself would be kind of pissed. And since a lot of the VSVs can be mini, they can come out in Gachapon or Candy. They don't have to be deluxe releases. So you could release a whole bunch of them. If you collected Tokuger, there was a lot of Gachapon and Candy trains that came out exclusively there. Let's see. You know, we have special and great sounds just like we did with the Seiza Blaster. Yeah, we're all going to get... we're going to get unused sounds. But these are just really, really interesting unused sounds, which is why I'm reporting on them. So you got special and great. Those themselves are not really that interesting. They're probably just classes. Yes, you are a sound. I mean, Tokuger got a lot of extra ones on, like extra peripheral ones, like Q-Ranger did, like Claw Resha or things like that. And they got gold-plated trains. They got metallic trains. There was a lot. So if they wanted to release all these sounds, they definitely could. Will they? That's probably going to depend on how well it sells. Okay, next up. This is interesting because both the Patoranger and Lupinranger have it. And that would be the Jewel Dial Fighter and the Trigger Machine Jewel. That could be a pun on dual because both of them are going to use it. I don't know if it's one vehicle or two. Maybe it's a new core head for when they finally unite together. I'm trying to think. I'm sure Drive had a bunch of unused ones. Because Drive's pin system is actually similar to Lupinranger Patoranger. Yeah, it's spelled Jewel, but it could be dual because the words, especially in Japanese, sound very similar. I don't know if Jewel would be the final robot, but I feel like Jewel could be like a headpiece for the final robot. They both use it, so it's called out, almost like a Furaimaru from Hurricaneger. Right. There was a definite pin problem. I think for whatever reason, Lupinranger Patoranger has a very strong pin setup, from what I've heard. There could be something that attaches to both sides. There's so many possibilities. We're scratching the surface. There's going to be a Trigger Machine music. Maybe it'll come out with the CD, but nothing's listed with the CD, so I'm not sure. Maybe it'll come out with a complete sound collection. You can use a full bottle on the VS Changer, but I'm not sure if the pins activate a sound. You can slide it into the top of the changer. It'd be cool if you used the full bottle and you got the build sound, though. That would be pretty cool. We'll have to experiment with that. Maybe I'll pick myself up a full bottle when I get it. Right. Well, the problem is because I looked at those pictures of people trying to put the full bottle through. It fits on the top, but it doesn't look like it can slide all the way down, which you would need it to activate the sound. I don't know if they're going to be uniform. It probably is a benefit to them to make it sturdy like these pins because with the Seiza Blaster, I love the Seiza Blaster. I mean, I would love to buy bottles, but I'm not collecting build, and I feel like if I buy a couple of them, I'm gonna want to collect all of them. I want to see if I could just maybe buy like Rabbit Tank, like a candy version, just to try it out. But I'll think about it. I can't. I still have to collect the rest of the Q-Tama. I'm gonna be collecting all these vehicles. I'm gonna be poor. There's a sound for a chocolate dial fighter. I don't think it's actually a chocolate dial fighter. I think it's the prize for the chocolate collection that we've seen. The Seiza Blaster pins are not great. I love the Seiza Blaster, but they do the card can shift pretty easily. There's, you know, chocolate. Right. Right. So, I mean, I think they're just trying to get a stronger pin system after Seiza Blaster because it is a little bit unreliable. Ooh, special form with the knowledge. I would like it to be separate from the metallic prize one, but I think it's going to be the metallic prize one. And that means it's just a recolored mini VSV of Red Dial Fighter, and then there's a delicious sound effect on the Patoranger side, which is probably for the silver Ichigo machine. Okay, moving on, we have a very sensible Trigger Machine Rescue. So maybe, excuse me, maybe a fire truck or an ambulance. We've been going for a while. I'm impressed. Huh. They do have a collab with Chocolate Moai, I think, because it advertises all the time during the commercials. I'll run through these quick because we are going over an hour, and I don't want to keep you guys too long. And I want to answer any other questions you have. I'll just run through the ones we're getting. For a couple ones for Lupin Ranger. 319 is Psyker, S-A-I-K-E-R. It probably has psychic powers. I don't know what that's going to turn into. But the numbers are a pun on psychic. So 3 is Sa, 1 is E, and the 9 is Ku, Sai-Ku. So like psych. So it's got like psychic powers. Thanks, it's fun hanging with you guys too. I love talking about this stuff. Another dial fighter is Chain. That's 100. Then we're going to get a Christmas dial fighter. That's probably going to come with the cake. And we'll probably get something for Patoranger with the 2. Or maybe not. Maybe they'll just give us a Lupin Ranger one. That's 1225. You can post a link to the hacked VS Chain sounds. I don't mind that. Just make sure that make sure that people know that what they're getting into when they click on it. I don't want people spoiled if they don't want to be spoiled. Even like minor spoilers like this, I feel like some people, it could ruin the show for them if they know what's coming up. Okay, let's move on. And the next one for Lupin Ranger is 777. It gives us the Jackpot Dial Fighter, which is just fun for thieves. I imagine something like Drive's 777 car. What was that? I forget the name of that car. So the problem with the cakes, they don't ship well, which is why, like, I bought the Christmas Q-Tama from Toku Collectibles, and you get the box that the cake comes in, and you get an ornament and you get the Q-Tama, but you can't get the cake because the cake goes bad. Dream Vegas, thank you, Howling. Yeah, Dream Vegas, which was an awesome car. So something like that would be really, really cool, like a white and gold. You know, some maybe cards or something on it, maybe something like that would be really, really cool. We could get it. We're gonna have a Super Sentai something, so Go Ranger is definitely possible. Later, Captain. Thank you for joining in. They got to tease you with the cake box. Yeah, so we got a Super Sentai VSV, like we got Super Sentai Kyutama. It could just be Patoranger, Lupin Ranger branded stuff. So in Christmas, in Japan, it's a tradition to get a birthday cake, a strawberry shortcake kind of sort of thing. They do have capes, and they eat it on Christmas Eve. It's like a thing for them. That and Kentucky Fried Chicken, the two Christmas traditions in Japan. Yeah. So they make them for Christmas, and they also make them for birthdays. So you can buy birthday cakes for Super Sentai and Rider in Japan. Miracle Masquerade is actually the code for Victory Striker. That's the power-up for Lupin Ranger. That'd be cool. Trade the secondary colors. That'd be really cool. Let's continue. So we have another dial fighter. A lot of dial fighters. They're probably mini vehicles. Nice. Thanks, Howling. Yeah, so there's always going to be unused sounds. But like Seiza Blaster got, I think, most of the sounds out. And some of the unused sounds were actually used in the show. They just weren't Kyutama. Like Big Bang was the attack from the cannon. So it's in there for a reason, but they might not get to them. If you go to the Ranger Board rumor thread, I have all the sounds listed. We only have a couple of the sounds actually playing on the changer. Okay, next is 027 Magic Dial Fighter. I don't know what this could be, but the Lupin Ranger do have, because they are Phantom Thieves, a magician look to them. So something magic related, like cards or that kind of thing, would be really, really cool to see. Yeah, that could be fun. Yeah, magic. I know. I'm excited for that one, especially because even if they recolor like Magic Kaito, yes, even if they recolor Red Dial Fighter, I feel like they could do a lot with that. The next one is really, really cool for the Patoranger. It's Trigger Machine Dog. We don't have any animals so far in this setup. Usually the animal stuff for the vehicle shows comes in the movie. But a dog fits really well with police stuff. So I would love to see, even if it's a dog head on a vehicle body, sort of like what we got with Cat. I don't see Cat, but I guess Lupin Ranger is probably going to get something too if Patoranger gets one animal. Oh, you mean you heard a cat in the background? I don't have a cat. It was something on the TV downstairs. So the cat burglar is a thing in Japanese, so they could get a cat. I would love if the Lupin Ranger actually got a bat or something like that. Just because of the way that they have the capes and they kind of do that. But a cat versus dog, cat versus dog isn't so much a thing in Japan. It's monkey versus dog over there. But I don't think they're going to give the Lupin Ranger a monkey mecha. So, and then you have Black Cats in symbolism, and also Cat's Eye, the show, which Lupin Ranger is very similar to. Lupin Ranger has as a lizard as their symbol. I think it's actually supposed to represent Good Striker. Good Striker, when they're in the mecha cockpit, gets this little puppet sort of ticket thing from Tokuger that he kind of exists as, and he's like this little demon lizard with bat wings. So we'll see. Anyway, Patoranger are getting dog, whether it's an actual dog or it's just a police car named dog, like how the Deca Ranger police cars were named. It's a saying, monkey versus dog. So, like, what we say, like they're fighting like cats and dogs. The equivalent in Japanese is fighting like monkeys and dogs. Dogs hate monkeys over there. I don't know. Okay, the next one sounds definitely like a mini VSV weapon. It's 226 Boomerang Dial Fighter. I could easily see that being another repaint of Blade, like Hammer is. Just it doesn't collapse into the weapon. It just already is the weapon. Japanese. Oh, that's. I don't know if we could say that on national TV, Helen. I would love for Jim Carter to get involved in the mecha. I would actually love if Siren Striker was Jim Carter, like a powered up Jim Carter. Because Striker, the Striker name doesn't really have to be anything like what Striker is. It's sort of just the name that they gave him. Good Striker is a pun, right? It comes from Gutto Kuru in Japanese, which means like something moving. So Good Striker is going to pick what team he works on based on what they do during the episode. Whoever moves him emotionally gets his powers for the episode. That's how it works. So Siren Striker, it's not the same kind of pun. It's going to be a cop thing. And Victory Striker is just probably a stronger type of striker. That's true. There was a kangaroo power animal that was unused using a boomerang. But the power animals, there were a lot of unused power animals. Okay, next up is 263 Prism. It's a dial fighter. Don't know how that would work. But it's interesting. A Prism. We have Jewel, we have Prism. So a lot of shiny things. The next one interested me. This is Trigger Machine Splash. Are we finally going to get a boat mecha in Super Sentai that isn't a battleship? Is this a fire truck? But Splash, I mean, Splash is an effective name for a fire truck, but it's also a little weird. I would love like I don't know, a Coast Guard boat or something would be cool. Squirt gun would be amazing. Oh yeah, maybe like a recolor of XTrain Gold with a squirt gun instead of a regular gun. It's possible. I would love. That's true. You're right. Sub and Frog were not battleships. Though I mean, submarine definitely counts. All the submarine mecha count. Frog was submersible. I don't know that I would count it as. I guess technically it is. I just see it more as a frog than I do a submarine. But it is a submarine, so you're right. No, because Subaraya is really good with water. And so is Toho. Toho, sorry. Toho is... Water is like their jam. Godzilla, thank you for that 90. Yeah, so Toei doesn't like filming in water. Anytime we get water in Super Sentai, it's really limited. Okay, that's why I'm not thinking of it as a sub, because it was just a frog. I love that toy. I have that toy. I mean, frogs are kind of my favorite animal. So any frog mecha that we get, even like the frog gun in Ninja, I had to get because it's a frog. Weird side note about me. Dinosaurs too. Love them. I will always be up for a dinosaur Sentai. Okay, after that we have an interesting one for Q-Ranger fans. This is a dial fighter. It's called Special, but the code is 999. QQQ. You know, I think it could be a Q-Ranger VS vehicle of some kind. Or the sound's just in there just in case. I mean, the Zyuohger Q-Tama sound was in the Seiza Blaster. We don't know if we're getting a Zyuohger Q-Tama. One Zyuohger could possibly still show up in the Space Squad movie. And sort of hand it off. Or Luca could turn, if Luca's in the movie, which she's rumored to be, she could turn into a Zyuohger, and then they could use the Q-Tama that way, but... We're not getting an Escape Dial Fighter. It does summon Special Form 999. This is true. Alright, we only had a couple more left. There's a Happy Birthday Henshin noise in there. I don't know if it's related to a VS vehicle or if it's just a sound effect in there. But it probably is related to a VS vehicle because it's on the same sound key as like Kamen Rider and Kamen Rider Build. Funny. And then we get great for a dial fighter, which is 200. Probably. And then we get Paint Dial Fighter, which is 210. That could be interesting. Maybe, you know, a paintbrush or something on the undercarriage. We'll see. We've had weirder stuff in Super Sentai before. And then we have Festival, which is another Henshin sound effect. Maybe this is something for the movie. or maybe they're going to do another summer ending like they did with Kyuranger. Maybe that's going to be a thing now, because Patoranger Lupin Ranger isn't getting an ending right now, at least. So maybe they could put in a special ending in either the TV series for the summer, or it could be the ending for the movie. No Guyver Dial Fighter. Can always make one. Last two we went over already. So that's it, guys. That's all of the sounds that we know of. There could actually be more because there were sounds that we know exist missing from the leaks. Yeah, so let's talk about this. LupinrangerVSPatoranger is ditching the ending, so we hear, because we haven't gotten an ending theme announced yet, and the episode comes on today. Because the opening is actually 3 songs. So the budget for what would be opening and ending has been condensed into composing a Lupin Ranger song and a Patoranger song, and the mashup is the opening that we get. We could hear the individual themes for the ending theme, but it wouldn't be an ending like we're used to. Because usually the Sentai endings are one dance themes. None of the 2 songs. They're great songs. I love the songs. I love the music. Especially the Lupin Ranger vs. Patoranger, the duet. It's great. They're not ending themes like we're used to. They kind of go back to the more Time Ranger. There's a lot of Time Ranger in the show. But Time Ranger, the Patoranger song is very much like the Time Ranger ending. So I could see that. I could see them doing... You could always choreograph something. But it'd be a little bit weird. It'd be a little weird. Like Deca Ranger has kind of a dance ending. And Lupin Ranger's theme is a little jazzy. So you could choreograph something. But they're not called ending songs. They're called insert songs. There is no ending song listed on the CD, which hasn't happened in ever. So, yeah, so I think that's part of it. So here's why there's not an ending, as far as I've been told. Check the... we got to wrap it up soon, guys, because of battery life. But, no, they don't have to have dancing. But so here's the thing. So Kyuranger... a lot of the time when the ending came on, sort of killed the mood emotionally for some scenes. Champ's death, quote unquote, that wasn't a death. But a lot of the stuff in the ending of the show got sort of not completely derailed, but it felt really, really weird. The reason they do that... if I continue... the pelvic thrust got removed, I think, because Kotaro joined, and probably some parents complained, honestly. Japan is cool with most things, but some things they are not cool with. Right, exactly. So I think they're trying to limit that. Obviously, if the endings are slow, which they would be if they use the insert songs, it doesn't really matter. The other reason I think that they ditched the ending... they also ditched, you guys know the thing that they did with Kyuranger, where you pick the color, and they did it for the last couple of Sentai too. You would win a prize if you're in Japan using the D-pad on the remote. That's gone. They're not doing that for Lupin Ranger anymore. True, you can see the thrusting on the Blu-ray. Boy. Yeah, so that D-pad thing, the contest for prizes, at least the way that it was... is gone. Apparently you have to pay for that. Like Toei had to pay for that to get that advertising in, to give people out toys as sort of an advertising for the... It was like cross-advertising. It was costing them money that they didn't really need to spend. They can give out prizes other ways like they do usually with just regular campaigns. So there's no real reason for them to do it. Also, the new time slot has a different commercial break setup. There's like 3 or 4 commercial breaks versus when Sentai usually just had 1, maybe 2. So they need the time for the actual episode. Huh. I love it. I love space puns. Or any puns, really. Yeah, so that's why there's no ending. But, alright guys, I'm done talking. Wow, we've gone for a long time. This is great. I did want to announce one thing. A lot of people have been asking me to do toy reviews since I get so many Super Sentai toys. So I'm going to try and start doing that if you guys are interested. I don't want to steal other people's thunder because I know, like, there are so many good toy reviewers. Wotaku Fighter and K2 Azo. Thank you. I will try. So I'm going to try and figure out a way. The Kamen Rider, yes. I'm going to try, no problem. I'm going to try and, it was a lot of fun, actually. I'm going to try and figure out a way to do the toy reviews in an original way, so I'm not, oh, I love Watafa, he's the best. But like Soling Chu does them too, and I want to find a way to make my reviews original, so I don't feel like I'm sort of stepping on other people's feet or just kind of repeating what they're doing. I have a lot of Q-Tom, I need to finish them. Guys, it was great. We'll probably do something like this for the next toy catalog. It's a lot better than just people not getting their questions answered until there are better pictures. And I don't have a problem answering questions on Twitter or Ranger Board. Bunny, I'm going to try and figure out what the deal is with that account, and I'll get back to you. Thank you. K2 Zayo. He's great, too. Yes, absolutely. Shuki and Zeron. Hope I'm saying that right. Zeron. Yeah, like, I don't want to step on people's toes, so see you soon with another video. I don't know. I'm stumped, Guyver, I'm sorry. Japanime is good. Like, there's so many good. Even, like, what's Baltrix? Am I saying his name right? I've talked to him a couple times. I feel bad. Bolt Matrix. He does a lot of the Transformers reviews, but he also does Super Sentai. His reviews are great. Matrix, thank you. DOSM Rider, yeah, he's great. He's fantastic too. See, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many, and MMPR Toys is pretty good too. Though they don't do a lot of Super Sentai stuff. When they do, it's really good. Yeah, I don't know. So I got to figure out a way to make it original. Maybe I'll do like an unboxing kind of thing, like CS Toys kind of does. But I'll go into maybe more of the mythology behind the Super Sentai toys. And kind of what, you know, relate them to older toys, kind of answer questions as they come about rumors. We'll make it something that can go past just being a regular toy review, so I don't feel like I'm copying people. All right, guys. Just so you know, Lupin Ranger vs. Patoranger premieres tonight, and Build has its epic fight between Grease and Build. And that's going to be 7 o'clock Eastern time, if you're in the West. It's 9 o'clock a.m. Japan time. Yes, and Special Form is going to be subbing. GemCorp is already subbing Build, and they do a great job with that. And now they're subbing Lupin Ranger vs. Patoranger. So if you guys need subs, there you go. Thank you, Shane. Bunny, do I keep my boxes? I used to until I got 800,000 toys, and literally I had to buy another shelf for this year, because Q Ranger was massive. I'm still doing Q Ranger. I'm still waiting for Q Ranger. It is going to be a very intense episode tonight. And I feel like Special Form, listen, if you ever need any help with anything, you know, you can always message me. And I'll try and lend my 2 cents if something's stuck there. 2:30 a.m. Wow. Are you going to watch it live, Howling? I mean, I would at least watch the premiere live, but that's late. Yeah, so I guess if you're watching the stream, you probably know me on Twitter already. It's at The Real Manhunt. And then Ranger Board. All right, guys, I gotta go. But I really appreciate everybody tuning in. If I didn't answer anybody's questions, I'm really sorry. Please send me a message on Twitter. You can watch. I'll answer that. You can watch it live on TokuTube. Just look that up. Somebody else could probably give you the link. Gotcha, Howling. Okay, cool. All right, guys. Again, message me if you have any questions, and I'm happy to always answer them. And thank you guys really so much. It's great having the talk. All right, have a good one. Bye.